You tapping in real quick for this UFC 302 Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. In this video right here is just to go ahead and chop it up with y'all for a few minutes about a few individuals I'm highly confident are going to get the job done on the UFC 302 card and walk away victorious. You understand what I'm saying to you? We're going to talk about Andre, we're going to talk about Caesar, we're going to talk about Jocelyn, we're going to talk about Grant, we're going to talk about Jay Alton, and we're going to talk about Phil. That's all we're going to talk about for right now, and we're going to get into it, man. Let's go ahead and talk about Caesar, man. He fighting Roman Kopylov. I am not impressed with Roman Kopylov. I am not impressed with anything on Roman Kopylov's resume. You understand what I'm saying to you? Let's talk about that, man. The only times he's been taken outside of his comfort zone, because his comfort zone is striking. The only time he's been taken out of his comfort zone by the Duraevs and the Hernandezes of the division, he lost that. The Robinsons in the beginning, he lost that submission. He's getting done. He's getting taken up out of there. His comfort zone is striking, man. So the individuals that stayed in his comfort zone with him, let's talk about them, man. He knocked out Alessio. You can miss me with that. Alessio was 4-7 in the UFC before the UFC cut him from the promotion. You know what I mean? He beat Punahele. Punahele's 3-4 in the UFC promotion right now and not even up against a great level of competition. He beat Ribeiro. Ribeiro's 1-3 inside the UFC right now. You understand what I'm saying to you? He beat Josh Frem. Josh Frem's 2-3 inside the UFC. And none of these individuals' losses are really up against a great level of opposition, man. Like, Roman Kopylov is not that guy, man. You understand what I'm saying to you? This fight plays out on the feet, man. And Cesar Almeida is that guy. You feel me? Nothing about that resume I just read off to you impresses me more than the 3 fights that Cesar Almeida had in the kickboxing ring with Alex Pereira. We all talk about how dangerous that man is, how capable that man is. We all talk about what he's been able to do in such a short amount of time inside the UFC. Israel Adesanya too. We praise these individuals for what they're able to do. Cesar Almeida fared a hell of a lot better against Alex Pereira than Israel Adesanya did, man. 3 fights, all 3 went to the decision, and one of them went unanimously his way. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, like, this man is dangerous and capable on the feet, man. And with that being said, he's not Robellis to Spain. He possesses pretty good fucking takedown defense. And on top of that, the ability to get the fuck back up to the feet if he is taken down. He keeps himself composed. He's patient. You understand what I'm saying to you? And he don't fall apart. He gets himself back up to the feet, gets the fight back where he wants it, and gets back to work. You understand what I'm saying to you? So if Roman Kopylov is able to survive on the feet, you feel me? Because he will shoot for takedowns, and he probably will secure 1 or 2, but he won't do enough to secure a victory. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because Caesar will get back up to the feet, and he will get back to work. And if Roman does survive, Caesar will win by unanimous decision. And Roman Kopylov's 4-3 record in the UFC will move to 4-4. You understand what I'm saying to you? Moving on, you got Mitch coming in and fighting Andre, man. Let's talk about Mitch. I said he's 6-0 as an amateur. All 6 went to decision, 9-1 as a pro. More of those victories ended by a finish. And, but up against a low level of opposition, in my personal opinion, man. There is nothing spectacular about this young man's resume, man. You know what I mean? 9-1. Up against opposition with combined records of 44 wins and 31 losses, man. Like, come on. 44 wins and 31 losses, man. You can miss me with that shit. And it's really, like, the losses, too, man. Like, you lost an exhibition bout trying to get into the UFC to Ludovic. Ludovic, though? Ludovic then lost his next exhibition bout to Ricky Torsos, but still made it into the UFC and went 0-2. He's a fucking bum, but this is who he lost to. Then his next chance to get into the UFC is on the Contender Series, and he fucking loses that to Jake Hadley. And he loses it inside the fucking distance to Jake Hadley. You can really miss me with this shit. Anybody who's tapped in knows how the fuck I feel about Jake Hadley and his body work. You understand what I'm saying to you? No respect for it over here on this channel, man. And no respect for that motherfucking loss on your record, Mitch. You understand what I'm saying to you? But with that being said, man, what do you expect? His level of his competition, the opposition, got combined records of 44 wins and 31 losses, man. At least Andre's 8-0. At least that road to 8-0, that opposition had combined records of 41 wins and 8 losses. So you got 44 wins and 31 losses and 41 wins and 8 losses. This man's opposition had almost 4 times the amount of losses of this man's oppositions. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Andre Lima has definitely had the harder route to the octagon. He's definitely been up against it more so than the boy Mitch. And I respect his resume and his kickboxing experience and his whole body of work more so than I respect anything coming from this Mitch kid, man. Now, I know, you know, Andre opened up at like minus 275 against this boy, and I saw him recently at like minus 190, so some monies came in on Mitch, but don't let that discourage you from keeping your motherfucking money on Andre, man. Mitch from Boston, the fights are in Newark, New Jersey, man. There's some hometown money coming in on the kid, man. I'm telling you, it's not because anybody went back and looked at his resume, looked at his body of work, looked at any tape on this man and what he's capable of, and then went and did the same thing for Andre Lima and came to the conclusion that Mitch is the pick. If that's what they did, they done lost their rabbit-ass motherfucking mind, man. I'm telling you right now, Andre's getting this one done, man. Inside the distance or by unanimous decision, just like the bull Caesar against Copy Live, man. We could talk about Jocelyn real quick, but we don't gotta dig into it too much, man. You know what I mean? This is mid-level, very technical women's MMA. You know what I mean? And with that being said, it's Panama versus Argentina. And I'm siding with the dog from Panama to go ahead and get this one done. Unanimous decision, 2 rounds to 1. It could be a split, but I'm calling 2 rounds to 1 for Jocelyn Edwards, man. I respect her body of work. Just her whole body of work more so than Perez's body of work, man. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna have to make me a believer. You feel me? I'm not saying Jocelyn Edwards is a world beater, but she's very capable when she's inside that octagon. And King's MMA will have her properly prepared for this match. You know what I'm saying? She's 11 months younger, which ain't saying a whole lot, but she's 3 inches taller with a 4-inch reach advantage. You feel what I'm saying to you? And these things are gonna work to her advantage very well. Jocelyn Edwards for the win. Panama versus Argentina, and we rocking with the dog from Panama. You know what I'm saying? Same with Grant Dawson. We ain't gotta go too hard. We ain't gotta go too heavy. With all due respect to Joe Selecki, it's just the body of work, man. You know what I mean? It's just the body of work and what Grant Dawson is capable of. You feel me? And like I said, man, it's really just a bad time for Joe Selecki to be getting matched up and locked in the octagon with Grant Dawson, as I feel like he got a chip on his shoulder and something to prove, something similar to when like Islam got cracked way back when and then went on his little tear. You know, Grant's gonna go ahead and get past Joe Selecki. I ain't saying Grant's ever gonna be a champ or even, you know, maybe never even challenge for the title. He might have a title contender fight, but never challenge for the title. You understand what I'm saying to you in my personal opinion? But he's getting past Joe Selecki with flying colors, man. 3 rounds to 1, 30-27 across the board if it's not done inside the distance. You feel what I'm saying to you? Now let's talk about Jay Alton, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of jokers is kind of low on Jay Alton. You know, feeling like he shit the bed against Curtis Blades, but it's Curtis Blades, man. Curtis Blades wins. You could take 7 out of the top 10 in the heavyweight division, and on any given day, and Curtis Blades wins, man. You know what I mean? Like, you really need Tom Aspinall or John Jones in there for Curtis Blades, in my personal opinion, of what the heavyweight division consists of now. I know Derek's cracked him, and he's had his little motherfucking speed bumps, but Derek wouldn't win that fight again. You know what I mean? In my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion, man. But yeah, Alexander Romanov, come on, man. Alexander Romanov's a fucking bum, bro. He don't belong in the UFC, man. He arguably lost to the boy Juan, and I'm one of the individuals that was arguing that he fucking lost, you know what I mean? I don't respect this man's body of work or resume at all. Your 3 biggest wins are Chase Sherman, Jared Vandenera, and fucking Ivanov, man. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. And people talking about Romanov's a big boy, and he might, you know, in the grappling exchange or something, he might fall on top of motherfucking and end up on top of Almeida, and then Almeida could really be in some trouble, man. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Almeida's 3 biggest names in the heavyweight division are are levels above the 3 names I gave you for Romanov, Chase Sherman, Jared Vandenera, and Ivanov. Come on, man. Jay Alton, he took on the boy Shamil, who's 6'3", tipping the scales at the heavyweight division, did what he wanted to do with him and got him out of there inside the distance. Then he took on Biggie Boy, Rosenstruck, 6'2", 260 on a light day. He did what he wanted to do with him and got him out of there inside the distance. Then he took on Derek Lewis, 5 rounds. It went to the decision, 25 minutes, but 21 minutes and 10 seconds of control time. You know what I mean? Wrapped up 6 takedowns. Did what he wanted to do with Derek Lewis. It might have not been exciting, but he did it. You gonna sit here and tell me this man can't do what he want to do to Romanov? Romanov ain't Curtis Blades. Romanov ain't Tom Aspinall. Romanov ain't John Jones, man. These are the individuals that are gonna get this man a problem, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Ciryl Gane doesn't get this man a problem because Ciryl Gane doesn't have the wrestling and grappling credentials that the other 3 individuals I just named do. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, Jay Out now made is a problem in this fucking division. He's never gonna be a champion. He may never even challenge for the title, like I just said about Grant Dawson. He may have a title contendership fight that he loses against a Tom Aspinall or a Curtis Blades again, you know what I mean, or somebody like that. But Alexander Romanov, he's passing that test with flying fucking colors. You understand what I'm saying to you? So we talked about Andre, and we talked about Caesar. We talked about Jocelyn, and we talked about Grant. We talked about Jay Outen. Now let's talk about Phil, man. You ain't got to get too deep into it, man. I just really like Phil in this matchup. And it's taking nothing away from Jake Matthews. The same as I said, like, you know, with Dawson and Selecki. It's not taking anything away from him. Now, I'm not saying he going to do Jake like I feel Dawson's going to do Selecki. I'm just saying, in this matchup right here, I think they finally matched up Phil so he can go ahead and shine. Like the Fresh Prince can go ahead and shine in this matchup, in my personal opinion. You know what I mean? He can get this one done. 2 rounds to 1. 2 rounds to 1. That's how I'm calling it, man. No 30-27s, no splits, no draws, no disqualifications. Excuse me, no nothing. Just 2 rounds to 1. Unanimous decision. Phil Rowe, the Fresh Prince, getting it done. You know what I mean? And I respect Jake Matthews, man. I respect his body of work. He's a solid individual, man. I'm not taking nothing away from him. I'm not sleeping on him or disrespecting him, man. He's going to get off a couple shots. I just think Phil's going to keep him at the end of his, man. He's got to... Some places it says 73. Some places it says 72 for Jake. But everywhere it says 80.5 for Phil. So it's either a 7.5 or an 8.5 inch reach. And for the type of individuals, the type of fighters that they are, the type of fighting styles that these 2 individuals bring inside the octagon, it's just going to work real well in Phil's favor. He's going to be able to keep him on the end of his punches, on the end of his combinations. Jake's going to get in there. You know what I mean? Jake's going to catch him. Jake's going to get some shots off. It's going to be competitive, but Phil's going to outstrike him. Phil's going to outwork him. And for those thinking that Jake's going to get in there and work wrestling, grappling, win minutes, and, you know, secure takedowns on Phil, I'm not a believer in that, man. I'm not one of those individuals. I think if they lock up, man, I know that he's a little bit, you know, shorter, and sometimes that can work in your favor. But Phil's good, man. Phil's good in the clinch, you know what I mean? And when you got somebody coming in for the takedown, he's long limbed, them long arms, that 8.5 inch reach, and you throw that tie clinch up, you know what I mean? Your elbows hit them motherfucking shoulders anyway, and you're stopping that take, you know what I mean? Like, you just stop that engagement, and then it's now y'all entangled in the grappling, and that's where I think Phil will take his ass over to the motherfucking cage and win some time, you know what I mean? And they'll disengage and they'll get back at it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's going to be fight of the night or anything, performance of the night or anything spectacular. I'm just saying I'm confident in Phil to shine in this fight, you know what I mean? This is a good matchup for Phil, man. So, yeah, that's that with that, man. I like Andre, man. I really like him. I think he gets it done inside the distance. Very least unanimous decision. Same with Caesar, you know what I mean? Jocelyn and Phil, my confidence level with them is on the same. You know, it's not on the same as Caesar and Andre, you know what I mean? But it's right behind there, you feel me? It's right behind there with like Grant and Bezel. Bezel's gonna get talked about in another video. This was just about these 6 right here, you feel me? So that's that with that, man. I ain't gonna go longer than 15, man. I held y'all ear long enough. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. But yeah, that's 6 individuals that I like to get it done and walk away victorious at the end of the night. UFC 302, man. I mean, appreciate y'all for tapping in.